Well, it's not really a demonstration. I'm just it's just that somebody asked me how I turned signatures, which are those. They're all books that I've produced. From my printer, and my printer's a little Hewlett-Packard, and the Hewlett-Packard's got a little program in it, and the drivers and everything. I quite like Hewlett-Packard because they give you a little program inside that allows you to do booklets. I think most of these printers will allow you to do booklets. If you look at them properly, they'll allow you to do a booklet. And the only one I'm interested in is the A5 booklet. And it does both sides. So you turn the paper around, you do one side, and then you turn the paper around, it does the other side for you. And it's relatively simple. I'm not going to do a demo on that because it's a separate thing altogether, how to print out a PDF file or a document that you want to print to produce into a booklet. What I'm going to do at the moment is just show you how I turn these signatures here, or how I produce these signatures, how I'll make them. So once you've printed out your files, which is a separate subject altogether, it's a bit lengthy for me, I'm not all that clever, I don't even know whether I could show you on the computer how I do it. But it isn't hard because I'm not all that bright, and it all sounds difficult, but it isn't really. Anyway, the thing that I'm going to do now is to show you what I do. I get the signatures and I jog them. I think it's called jogging. You bang them together, in fact, so that they're all squared off. You pick them up and you square them up as best as you can. I'm trying to show it. I'm not very good at this at all. So you do all the sides of the book, and it's all squared off. And that particular one that I've just done there has got its sides cut, but I'm going to show you how I do it at the moment. So what I do is I use my little. There's my little board again. I keep showing you this little board. It's an absolute godsend, and it's so simple to make. The only thing you've got to watch with these is that you make sure that the screws, these are 100mm long and 8mm wide, that they are central, and both pieces of wood are the same size this way in width. Otherwise you'll get one higher than the other, and it makes it a bit of a job to do. You can manage, but it is messing about. The more level this top part is, the better. Anyway, what I've got is a piece of wood already done in, because I've only got one hand. I'm trying to show you how to do it one-handed again. But what I do is I put the book in and gently tighten the screws, and before I do that, in fact, I've got these two bits of card to remind me. It's just board, and you put the board inside the paper, so you've got one at either side of the paper, or the signatures that you're doing. And you see I've got mine's in there. I'll get the right foot. You can see mine's in there at the moment. And what I've got is a little raised edge, because that's as far as I want to cut. Now this paper looks as though it's been cut, but it hasn't been cut yet. And what I do is I put two pieces of card down, small pieces of card. These are 2mm ones, which is the boards that you make your backs with. You don't have to be like this, it can be any size, as long as they don't reach out to the books. And you turn the book over like so. So you've got that position. So you like that. I'm not very good at this at all. And you just loosen the bolts off at the front, and you tap it down and make sure everything's level, and then you tighten the bolts up, turn it around, and then I've got another little jig here which I put it in to make everything secure. So I put that up, and then I screw the thing in, screw the thing up. Well, this is not do the both ends. It's God. Sorry, I've gone out of focus for you, but there we are. I find this really difficult to do, show people things. I'm not very good at it. Oh, it seems to take ages to do this. But once it's tightened up, what I do then is I put my little template on for my saw cuts, which you can make out. You can do the saw cuts where you are, but you must ensure that your saw cuts are even. You can't do an odd one. By that, it'll mean that the thing is going in when it should be coming out. So you must do, if you're going to do these, make them even, if they're 6s or 4s or 8s, but don't make them 7s or 5s, because it doesn't work. Otherwise you'll have, when you come to the last stitching, when you start stitching up, you'll find that you're actually going in and there's nowhere to come out. Anyway, I do that, and then I mark it with my pencil, which you can see there, and then I make a little mark with a pencil, and then I put my, I've got a little T-square. Oh, I'm finding this really hard to do with one hand. I've got a metal T-square here. It's not very good, and you can see that I then score it with my pencil and so on right to the end. And then once I've done that, I'm really sorry about this, I did say I was no good at this. I put it on my little board like so, and I've got a little brush somewhere. I have a little brush which I use to discard the dust, because it's very dusty in here. The wife really complains about this, but and I get my saw. I've got a little tenon saw here. I must use my right hand for this, so I'm sorry I'm a bit jerky. And where the saw cuts are, I can't show you this because I've only got one hand. I gently place it on, and then I saw down to the bottom of the wood, because you can see where the little cuts are. You can see where the little cuts I've made into the wood, so you can only go down so far, and it makes 8 perfect holes in the back of your book. And once you've done that, you end up with things like this. So now you know how I do them. And then you're ready for sewing. And I've got a little frame which you've seen my frame, which I made myself, which was a little bit more work, but there's nothing you can't make to produce books. And these books here I'm going to make into those kind of things, these kind of books here. And these I've already shown you, so I won't go into them again. But they last a while, and you should be quite pleased with them. They're as good as any other I've seen on the net anyway. I haven't seen anything any better, not for a book format anyway. And I hope that's of some interest to somebody anyway. And I'm sorry that the camera work is terrible, I know, but I hope somebody got some idea of what I do and my little bits and pieces. I'm sorry it wasn't all that good, but I did try. All silly.